Good morning, and thank you very much. It's really a pleasure to be at this point in time when I believe a new industry is getting born. I think in the energy industry, probably nothing is so attractive and has such high potential right now as floating offshore wind. So I first thank you very much. I also know that even in geographical terms, it is in the British Isles, in the UK and Ireland, where most of the action is happening, also in other Western European countries. So it's very much appreciated to be talking with LKAB, Renewables UK, and with so many people interested in this. I must say we have been in contact with LKAB since maybe 2018. Albert from Spain and Bas from the Netherlands, they more or less introduced us into LKAB. We have also been in contact with very many interesting people. Up there in Michigan State, in the Upper Peninsula, Tim Scarlett is listening to this conversation, and he will probably be very interested because they have such great potential in Lake Superior, which will require floating wind. It's on a lake and not on an ocean, but still very interesting. So I'm really excited to be part of this. It's great for Magellan. Our company was founded in 2019, and we developed dense fluids meant for something else, for energy storage. But from the industry, people from the industry encouraged us to reach out to people in the offshore wind industry who could find a use for our dense fluids. There you can see an image that's the typical look. I must say the dense fluids are not very photogenic. Their skill is in the fluidity, in the way they move. They are probably quite ugly, but they know how to dance. And thing is, we of course invite you to see it in person. We will be taking a little bit of LKAB's booth in Aberdeen, and there you can see it close and get a much better impression than you can get from a video. So we have located inert mineral byproducts that can help fluidize other minerals that contribute density. Density and fluidity, they are a bit complementary. It's difficult to find a material that has both, except of course mercury, but we cannot think about mercury for obvious reasons. It's not an acceptable material. So of course, magnetite is a very interesting product because it's probably the densest, highly used industrial material that you can find, and that is not having any environmental problems, because you can have, of course, lead or other heavy metals, but those are also not acceptable. So for us, it's very interesting to be able to fluidize the MagnaDense material. I must say that it's great to have materials, but it's much better if you don't just find the material, but there's a large mining company that's operating it, that knows how to handle the logistics. That's completely different. We actually have found some materials that could be good, but there's no mining company behind, so you have to start from scratch with all the mining infrastructure, and that's a big headache and a lot of time and money. So we're happy to have found material that is very close to port, specifically very close to the port of Bilbao, and that means there will be a company that already has built the infrastructure and knows how to do the handling, much like LKAB. LKAB, of course, are Europe's first mining company, and they can do shipments anywhere. So that's we are at a happy spot because we can offer immediate solutions, or even immediate. If you have a prototype, we are already actually preparing shipments for next October that will go to the Canary Islands for an inner ocean project, and that will take material from LKAB, actually the MagnaDense material that we will hold in place for 2 years and then extract as a fluid. So first thing I want to make clear is this is already available. This is something we can, we need to still certify, we need to do some testing, but we can go into very serious discussions. We are, of course, very, very happy also to talk, for example, we haven't talked about spar solutions, but we are in contact with Windcrete and the Polytechnic University of Catalonia, and those are also interested in our material as ballast. I must say that when we talk fluidity, we mean, from our point of view, we mean permanent fluidity. That means that we will be ready to extract the material as a fluid after maybe 20 years. And maybe we can move to the next, before we move on, 1 second. If we can go back for a second, I don't want to forget, after the show in Aberdeen, we plan to do a large-scale demonstration in the port of Avilés in northern Spain. Maybe it will have to be in Port of Bilbao. That depends on logistics and some details. But there we will try to demonstrate that we can extract, install and extract material at 14-meter water depth in the port of Avilés. And if you kindly, this is a drawing that explains what are the advantages of having a dense fluid instead of a solid. It's of course much easier to install with a pipe than use a marine crane, and it's also possible to use simply pressurized water or ideally pressurized air to bring back the fluid after the lifetime of the project. I must say that we were trying to get our solution into the marine power system project that will be in Bilbao. That happened about April last year, and we were not completely ready. We made a breakthrough about August last year, where we found a good material and we learned to do the optimal blend. But we would propose maybe for future projects that a dense fluid is used instead of a solid. Of course, the MPS project is a demonstrator at scale at 2 megawatt, but in future the turbines will be 15 or 20 megawatt. And that will make it probably a little bit more complex to use marine cranes to install the weights. On the contrary, this solution with dense fluids probably will scale much better because it's just a matter of pumping more time and of course more tonnage. So we actually are in contact with Siemens Gamesa to see if we can use one refurbished turbine tower segment from onshore to do a real test where we also demonstrate that we can reutilize segments of onshore wind turbines for this application. We have to keep in mind that maybe we have some 8 gigawatts of wind turbines in Spain that are approaching their end of life. So that will be many tower segments that are already built and ready to be used for other applications. It will take some work because you have to, of course, marinize the paint work, but that is possible, and the elements are attractive because they have very strong rings at the end of the segments. That they are forged parts that it would be a shame to simply recycle as metal scrap. So maybe Denise, we can go to the next. We also want to show you about a different concept. This is the semi-sub, the typical semi-sub system where we are trying to orient the rotor of the wind turbine in a perfect position, so it will catch all the wind. The problem here is that any marine floating structure needs to be perfectly oriented, so that it will catch perfect wind. If you don't do that, you will probably lose about 2% of the wind power. That looks like very little, but you probably know offshore wind is very, very competitive. You get the projects through competitive auctions, and it's 2% can mean a lot because your margin is maybe 10%. So giving up 2% is 20% of the margin, and the financial department will not like that at all. So what we propose is not using water to do this fine tuning, fine balancing of the offshore wind turbine, of the floater, but use compressed air that would be injected in one of the columns and will make the fluid move to the other column. That will be a compact solution that is easier than using large pumps. With this, the competition is water. You can see at this point, that's, I think, not exactly at scale, but quite representative of the diminution of the column size and the diminution in draft that you can get. Draft is very important because it makes it very difficult to work in ports. With these images, these are images from a real project, from the wind float project in Portugal in about 2012. And you can see the large height of those columns. We are talking maybe 30 meters. Going down from 30 meters to maybe 20 meters means a lot of savings in, for example, dredging of the port. In the port, you will eventually have to dredge an exit channel, and that will mean that, of course, that's a lot of money because, as you can see, the turbines are very wide. It's a lot of space, a lot of amount that you would have to dredge. There are other advantages of using this material instead of water. For example, that you don't have the problems with marine water. Marine organisms are adapted through millions of years to live there. So you have to use biocides that you can get rid of if you use these materials because they are not suitable for marine life. We go to a new, just another application that we have in many structures, in many solutions, particularly in oil and gas, but also in some floating offshore wind prototypes. You will find catenary solutions with those very large links, maybe 1.5 or up to 2 meter links that are a very well-known and very used solution for mooring. It is often necessary to include, I think I have, okay. It is often necessary to include a load in the chain to keep it taut, and it's much easier to retrieve the load if that material is dense fluid instead of solid, in a system typical of what we have found previously. Just to finalize quickly, we'll be very happy to comment on any projects. Of course, you will always need to interact with technologists. We're always in a hurry because we know it's a large difference to reach a prototype manufacturer close to construction. You know, when the final blueprints are approved for construction or much earlier. So we encourage you to contact as soon as possible.
Yeah, of course. So this innovation and this project that we are looking at, I mean, it should be for everybody really exciting. Just simply of getting material into a project, getting it back out to recycle that project. It is making everything, you know, relatively I'm not going to say easy, but I am going to say easy, but or easier than previously. So you know, the whole concept of what we are trying to do with this project is very good. So
this is a really, really exciting project, and we are all really keen to talk to people about the potential for future projects. What I would caution against is the assumption that we already know that this will come back out in many years' time. And I'm sure that you've said that during your conversation, on, but I just want to be clear that this has not yet been used in a live project. We have seen it after a few months. It's still fluid. When we do the next project in Spain, that will be out for a couple of years, and we will get more knowledge on that. So, but it's really exciting. We believe, or Arne is very confident that this will happen. So that's what I wanted to say. So thank you very much. Okay, over to Richard.
Thank you, Denise. Thank you, Arne. Okay, we are going to sort of start wrapping things up now. So just as a follow-on to this, any questions that you do send in, please do send them in. They will be answered. They will go out to the relevant people. If it's for Sebastian at Marine Power, if it's for Arne at Magellan, or if it's for us at LKAB, we will be answering those questions directly or indirectly as best we can. I do want to take the opportunity now to let you know that we will be in Aberdeen, and we will be exhibiting on a very nice stand in Aberdeen, and Arne has kindly bringing over this grouting machine that you can actually come on the stand and have a look at. It is a smaller version of, but you will see what it's all about and what we're hoping to achieve and looking to achieve. So you know, my thanks there. Please do join us on that stand. Just pop on. There's going to be a number of us on there, and we'll be more than happy to speak to you, to answer any questions that you might have about any of the projects, or whatever your project is. We'll be really happy to see you there. Might even buy you a cup of coffee. So we'll be doing a technical talk at the exhibition as well, where it will be based on the Magellan variants, or I should say the MagnaDense active ballasting machine, and is in partnership obviously with Magellan. Centellium and SEC are also involved in this. So, but we will be speaking about this machine and what it might offer in putting it in recovery, etc., as a technical paper. I think it's around 10 to 12, but if you are attending Aberdeen, please do look out for us there and have a look at the programme of events, and please do join us either on the stand or certainly at that talk, because it promises to be a really interesting talk. Right, moving on from technical papers, just a quick reminder, any last minute questions, we're not going to have time to do any Q&A today, unfortunately, but we did think it might take the full time up. So any questions that you have, please do send them over to denise.roberts@lkab.com. Where we will filter the questions and answer all the questions. If you want to save them up for Aberdeen, if you are attending Aberdeen, then fantastic. Please do come on the stand. We're there, and we're going to be happy to answer any of those questions. Okay, so just a very big thank you now to basically you guys that have joined us today. I know it's into your day a little bit, so we really do appreciate you joining us for this webinar. I hope you found it interesting. Hope you've taken something away from what we've been discussing, and I hope it's given you some ideas going forward of different materials that might be able to use on your projects, and we'd be really happy to be speaking to you about those projects. Thanks to our guest speakers, obviously Sebastian Merivale Perry from Marine Power, and on Bustamante, and I hope that has been pronounced correctly, from Magellan Barents. Really appreciate you taking the time to present and do these presentations, and I think it has made for a very, very good webinar for everybody. So thanks go to you guys. Any questions that are going to Sebastian or on, send them in to Denise. They will be passed on directly, rather than putting up loads of different email addresses. It's just easier just to send it to Denise and send it through. Final thanks then go to Charles and Lewis for all their hard work and efforts into putting on this webinar. I hope everybody has found it really interesting. And also, obviously, thanks to our partners, Renewable UK, for all their hard work and sending, obviously doing the invitations and everything they do. And hopefully we'll be working more and more on different projects and different webinars with them. So just a final, hope to see you all in Aberdeen. We are there. Please do come on that stand. We're on stand D38. Where there will be a number of us, I think speaking a number of different languages. So if we have a language barrier, hopefully we'll have somebody there to be able to, you know, speak in your mother tongue. But we are there. We're looking forward to seeing you there and on with this ballasting machine. Sadly, no time for Q&A. So just thanks everybody for joining us. And I'm going to wrap this up now. Thanks very much.